This is Evening News for Friday, September 20, 2013. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. 367 house lots distributed in Region 2. More repairs to Harbour Bridge underway. Granger defends acceptance of AFC defectors. And Tommy Reid Centre receives $1 million. And now for the news in detail. Several residents of Region 2 were today presented with house lots. More in this report. As the housing and construction sector continues to expand and develop, another 367 residents of Region 2 received their house lots right here today. The beneficiaries all expressed satisfaction with government's housing program and said that the current administration has made significant strides in improving the lives of Guyanese nationwide.
I'm living at Jib and I am well satisfied today. I will be the proud owner of a house lot at under naming.
Just want to say thank you. Thank them because I wait long. I wait 10 years now and I thank you for giving me.
I think we must compliment the ministry, okay, for this gesture, and I think lots of families will be much better and much happier now.
It was good what the government do, help us out, own a house lot.
How do you feel personally?
Feel good. Feel real good.
Housing and Water Minister Irfan Ali said the one-stop shop is the third such exercise held in the region, which shows the commitment government has towards creating opportunity for its people. In addressing the residents, Ali noted that not only has it helped to increase home ownership, but it has aided in the country's social and economic development.
You will recall that when any political organization goes to an election, there are a set of objectives that party would put to the people. And that party is elected and judged based on how effective it is in accomplishment of those objectives. And indeed, the development of housing in Region 2 was one of the major objectives of the People's Progressive Party's Civic Manifesto. So we are very delighted that at this challenging stage of the political history of our country, at this very challenging time, we are able to come to you, to deliver to you one of our manifesto promise.
Meanwhile, Regional Chairman of Region 2, Parmanand Prasad, commended the government for the vibrant housing development program, which has benefited not only residents of Region 2 but countrywide.
So many people benefited from housing, and so much too, we have a bit of confusion in some of the areas because of the big rush. And the rush came about because over the years prior to 1992, there was no proper housing program for young people to benefit. So people got old and was living with parents as a family. So 3-4 families were living in one home. So when this housing drive started in Guyana and in Region 2, there was a huge rush. And still there is a rush. And I doubt whether at all times or any time we can satisfy the needs of housing.
The Housing and Water Ministry has held over 53 one-stop shops between 2009 and 2013. Today's exercise is the third such initiative held in Region 2. There are 7 more one-stop shops planned for the remainder of the year in that region. Reporting from Anna Regina in Region 2, I'm Samuel Suknandan for the Evening News. Chief Executive Officer of the Demerara Harbour Bridge, Ralston Adams, says that works are moving to change eroded pivots that the floating bridge hinges on the Demerara Harbour Bridge. Let's join Whitney Prasad for more details.
Construction works, which started about 4 months ago, will soon come to an end at the Demerara Harbour Bridge. Chief Executive Officer of the bridge, Ralston Adams, told media operatives today that the dredging works are already completed. This will now facilitate adequate flotation for temporary pontoons. The replacement project will see the changing of 6 pivots on the span 1 and 2 of the bridge out of the 61 span links. This has not been done since the bridge's opening some 35 years ago.
We are again attempting such a project, and we're using this opportunity to brief the media as to what are the works that will be done, how we will ensure that what has happened at span 61, 62 does not reoccur.
The technical engineering team for the bridge will be working based on a 2-day deadline, and this will result in the closure of the bridge to heavy-duty vehicles. The new pivots that will be installed were fabricated by the Courtney Bin Construction Company using the model of an old pivot. The CEO says the construction works are part of wider efforts to ensure that the bridge is in full operating conditions and that a collapse of sections of the bridge does not occur again. Adams told reporters that the pivots are very corroded and full of rust and it must be replaced before a similar incident occurs like in 2012 when span 59 and 60 collapsed. He stated that the cost for these repairs are far in excess of what was initially spent on the pivots themselves, while adding that works will be done by staff members of the bridge and not contractors. In addition, a pre-feasibility study has been conducted for the construction of a new bridge, which would be a main contributing factor to the reduction of traffic congestion in the area.
Heavy vehicles weighing more than 22 tons will not be permitted across the bridge on Saturday and Sunday from 6 a.m. Reporting for the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Today, CUSO International introduced 12 additional volunteers that will be working in Guyana and attached to both government and non-governmental organizations as part of a rigorous initiative to boost youth development. Whitney Prasad joins us again.
One of the main objectives of CUSO and its partners is to further enhance youth development in Guyana. Today, a batch of 12 volunteers from Canada and Grenada were placed throughout various governmental and non-governmental organizations through a new initiative by CUSO.
Of the 12 volunteers that arrived a week ago, 3 will be based with government ministries, 1 with CARICOM, and 5 will be doing placements with various partners but based in the CUSO program office. These volunteers bring a total of 26 representatives here in Guyana, and some of them will be working for as long as 2 to 3 years, while others may just be working based on a 6-month contract. Speaking with the Evening News during an exclusive interview, CUSO's country representative Tarmati Prasad said that the volunteers bring a broad range of skills, including business management, youth leadership, governance and research, and social work, among many others.
So what CUSO does is bring volunteers with skills in particular areas. So what we do is work with local partner organizations. So many of those local organizations will be working with them, helping them to achieve their objectives and their mandate. So we're bringing in volunteers with skills that they probably wouldn't have access to or they can't afford to have access to.
All of the volunteers had to undergo a lengthy and positive interview, suiting the requirements of the company before they could have secured their positions within the various offices throughout Guyana. Prasad said Guyana has a number of significant and progressive youth empowerment agencies already, but CUSO is seeking to be more vibrant in this regard. CUSO's volunteer journey started several months ago from the development of the placement that contributes to shared objectives of youth and the agencies. Prasad reiterated that partnerships are very important. As such, they regard the relationships as vital to their works here.
Reporting from the CUSO head office in Sobrianville for the Evening News, Whitney Prasad.
Opposition leader David Granger says that the decision to accept 3 defectors from the Alliance for Change will not affect the relationship between the two bodies. Details in the Sabatini Daniels report.
The opposition leader said he does not see the persons shifting towards APNU as opposing the AFC, but rather as advancing the agenda for national unity and human development. He was at the time speaking at APNU's weekly press conference at his Hatfield Street, Georgetown office.
This is nothing about vindictiveness. This is a question of wanting. These are serious academics who want to make a contribution to national unity and national development, and they felt that their opinions, their advice, were not being adhered to where they were before, and they put those opinions and that advice in a much wider forum.
Granger said the actions taken by economist Dr. Tyrone Kemaraj, political science professor Dr. Ashquit Rose, and businessman Rab Mokraj from AFC's Americafold is an advance in democracy. He described the move taken not as an anti-AFC move but a pro-Guyana move, adding that the sole objective is to advance Guyana.
In fact, is an enhancement of the program of APNU, and we are confident that other people will come on board. We're not in a hunting party. We are simply building a momentum. We're building a movement so that people, like-minded people from civil society, from any other organization, are free to come on board and advance these, particularly these 2 aims.
Meanwhile, speaking to this newscast via telephone on Thursday, Dr. Kemaraj firmly stated that AFC has left him, he has not left the AFC. He added that since the 2011 general election to now, the party did not seek his advice on any issue or decision it made. He explained that pre-elections the party regularly obtained his input, but even with regards to the Amelia Falls hydropower project, it did not seek his advice. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Join us after these messages for more of the Evening News. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the Evening News. Professor of the Applied Disaster and Emergency Studies Department at the Brandon University in Canada, Dr. Balfour Spence says private sector engagement is imperative for disaster risk management in Guyana. He highlighted his findings during a lecture series at the University of Ghana on Wednesday. The details in this story.
It is government's onus to initiate discussions with the private sector on disaster risk reduction (DRR) in Guyana so as to prepare this country for any hazardous event that may arise. This is according to Professor of the Applied Disaster and Emergency Studies Department at the Brandon University in Canada, Dr. Balfour Spence, who made a presentation on DRR management here. He noted that while Guyana is least prone to natural disasters compared to other CARICOM countries, it is vulnerable to droughts and floods. Making reference to the 2005 flood, the worst Guyana has ever experienced, he pointed out that the impact of such disasters are mainly focused on the country's central economic areas in Region 4 and Georgetown specifically. As such, he said that because the majority of private sector businesses are situated in this part of the country, their input in a DRR plan is integral.
That the private sector has the know-how, the organizational capacity, important capacities that can provide solutions or contribute to solutions to some of the problems in risk management that we face.
He reasoned that the private sector stands to benefit immensely from its involvement, since outlined measures will ensure security for their assets. Dr. Spence noted that the 2005 flood in Guyana was not foreseen, and as such, the country's vulnerability is likely to increase with the effects of climate change. However, while the private sector's participation is significant to engagements, it is government's responsibility to commence this conversation.
It is in the context of its own sustainability that the engagement of the private sector in disaster risk management becomes crucial.
Guyana's 2005 flood affected 62% of the entire population, which was concentrated in regions 3, 4, and 5. Damages in Region 4 were recorded at 55%.
The European Union is encouraging Caribbean governments to work as a collective body to develop the lives of its people through the attainment of all Millennium Development Goals. More in this story. European Commissioner for Development Andris Peebles said Caribbean nations can be extremely proud about having transformed the region into one of the most culturally rich and dynamic regions in the world. But Peebles said the work continues and must be aimed towards achieving the Millennium Development Goals.
Millennium Development Goals, as it today, is recognized as success. Success because, first of all, it was global community embarked on something with consensus. Also, world community embarked on something with goals and targets that are expressed in figures. But there have been a couple of weaknesses of these processes.
He said work is far from complete, but noted that together it could be achieved, encouraging all parties to be ambitious about the post-2015 framework. The Caribbean region, he said, must however overcome its remaining development obstacles, as there still are major challenges linked to the region's inherent vulnerability. Meanwhile, President Donald Ramotar said that the region has benefited tremendously from the European Union and looks forward to greater partnership.
It is also true that we are very conscious and very aware of the fact that the European Union is our largest grant resource donor. We have been the beneficiaries of substantial funding under the Lomé Conventions and now under the Cotonou Convention, which has assisted us in our development.
The 11th European Development Fund EDF Programming Seminar opened today. The 11th EDF will cover the period 2014 to 2020, and it is expected that the European Union will provide its CARIFORM partners with €1 billion in grants for the most vulnerable people in the Caribbean region. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Sugnandan. Join us after these messages for more news. You're tuned to TVG Channel 28. This is the Evening News. Sabatini Daniels now joins us to report that Tolmi Reid Rehabilitation Center has received a $1 million check from Digicel Ghana for the renovation of its dining room at Carmichael Street, Georgetown. Details in this report.
Candace Cooley, a nurse at the center, received the check from Digicel Guyana Public Relations Officer Shaunet Moore. Speaking at the handing over, Moore stated that Digicel is happy to assist in the renovation of the dining room, underscoring that the organization recognizes the importance of comfort for the disabled children.
This is definitely not the first time and the last time we'll be working with the Tolmi Reid Rehabilitation Center. We've done a lot of work with them in the past, and we're definitely looking forward to perhaps some more projects in the future.
Tolmi Reid Rehabilitation Center Administrator Cynthia Massey expressed gratitude for Digicel Guyana handing over the generous donation, adding that employees from the organization had visited the center a few weeks ago and saw that its dining room was not completed, hence it decided to donate the money to complete it.
Put back in all the windows, because when it rains, the rain comes in. They will provide the furniture for the dining room so all our students can be comfortable. So thank you very much to Digicel this morning.
Work on the dining room will begin almost immediately, and as such it is expected to be completed within a month. Sabatini Daniels reporting for the Evening News.
Bisham Mohammed reports that Ansimacol today unveiled its new Lucozade brand with a promotion that will see customers winning at least $2 million in cash.
The promotion commences today and will end on November 30 with a grand draw that will see a customer walking away with $3,000. At the launching of the energy drink at the Betterworthing head office, Sean Abel, Lucozade brand representative, explained the new packaging.
This morning, what we want to talk about, Ansimacol recently replaced its 300 ml Lucozade glass bottle with our new packaging, which is the plastic 300 ml Lucozade, which is known as the unbreakable energy bottle. Some features of this new product basically is the tri-layer plastic, which means that it is 3 times thicker than any plastic beverage product on the market. That's one of the main features of the new packaging.
The official also disclosed that as part of giving back to its customers, a new and exciting promotion has been launched.
Now what we want to do today is we're going to launch our consumer promotion, Caps for Cash type consumer promotion. This promotion will run for 2 months basically. What you would actually have is we'll have 2 weekly winners of $500. We will have a grand final drawing, basically, where you can win $3,000 as the first prize. The second prize is $1,500, and we have the third prize, which is $1,000.
However, he warned against the other Lucozade brand, which is 380 ml, that is not distributed by the company.
A lot of us may be aware that there is an imitation brand on the market. Just ensure that you're grabbing 300 ml Lucozade. Remember, ask for 300 ml distributed by Ansimacol.
Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer Darshini Yusuf reiterated that it is a promotion that will give back to its customers while encouraging them to drink the energy drink. Bisham Mohammed, The Evening News.
Remember, you can read about these and other stories in tomorrow's edition of the Ghana Times newspaper, which can be purchased from vendors across the country. When you're not reading our newspaper or watching TVG Channel 28, do tune into Radio Ghana Inc. on 89.3, 89.5 or 89.7 FM. Join us after these messages for sport. Welcome back, and now for a look at sport, sponsored by Macorp. The Ghana Cricket Board Pepsi Inter-County 50-over tournament bowls off on Saturday with defending champions Demerara taking on perennial whipping boys Essequibo at the GCC ground border from 9 hours. Demerara will be led by West Indies T20 player Christopher Barnwell, and already his team is looking to beat the tournament, which concludes on September 29 at Albion Community Centre ground. The Essequibo side will be marshalled by Ryan Fredericks, and the team has some big names that, if they fire on all the cylinders, can pull an upset. The other team in the tournament is Berbice, that will play Demerara next. In an effort to generate more interest in the fistic sport, the Ghana Boxing Association and Ansa McCall combined their energies to launch street boxing by taking the sport to the outlying communities. Tristan Joseph reports.
Under the Moccasin brand, boxing for the first time in Guyana will hit the streets from Saturday night in Linden. President of the association, Steve Ninval, believes that the move is good for the sport, which will add more value and excitement for the fans.
This is a shot in the arm for amateur boxing. I don't think anything of this nature has happened before, because of the fact that we'll be having 4 divisions that persons will be competing in, and it will be in a round robin, and at the end of that, the winner, second place and third place will be receiving prizes.
Moccasin brand manager Jamal Douglas was also optimistic about the prospects of the new venture.
Moccasin is going to do this event yearly. We are very excited to have street boxing. We're going to take the ring, put it in the middle of the tarmac, and we're going to have the communities come out. I'd like to also say that this event is free.
The tournament will feature the lightweight 60 kilograms, junior welterweight 64 kilograms, welterweight 69 kilograms, and middleweight 75 kilograms categories. The tournament is also open to the public, provided a doctor's clearance is produced. The championships will then move to Georgetown on September 29th before finishing in Berbice.
As Ghana continues to celebrate Amerindian Heritage Month, Juan Tishau shared his views on sport in his village and some of the difficulties faced. Tristan Joseph joins us again.
Haruru Village Tushau, Winsbert Benjamin, in an exclusive interview with this newscast, indicated that there are several challenges facing his village to integrate youths in sport, citing it would be easier if sport is improved at the school level.
Well, right now, it's very difficult for us, but the village council is trying, we're trying our part to do that. See how best we could get, the youths, into sports activities.
He also noted that the village council would welcome any help from the government, since sport is a vital part of society.
Of course, it would, keep them from doing things that they're not supposed to do, like, like drugs or whatever. And they would, uplift the community people, because, number one, sports is very important, all right? And it will help the community there at home. Once we get support from different NGO or different arm from the government.
Naming cricket and football as the top sports in the village, the Tushau recommended ways to further the development of the sport in the area.
To me, we need persons from Georgetown or from Linden to go up there and train the youths more concerning cricket and football and volleyball.
Join us after these messages for your bridge reports. Welcome back, and now for a look at your bridge reports. The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed on Saturday, September 21 at 5 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Saturday, September 21 at 16 hours 05 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Friday, September 20, 2013 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandon. Thanks for joining us.